All right. Hey, everyone. Today I've got Omar Hijazi in Washington, D.C. with us, and he actually has been through the program. He didn't actually finish to get certified. He just got hired before he was even done, which is even awesome, even more awesome. So, Omar, go ahead and just tell us a little bit about your background or sales background before the program.
Okay, no problem. Thank you very much, first of all. I actually don't have really any sales background. I graduated about a year ago with a degree in computer science, so definitely there was kind of a lucrative career in front of me, but software development coding wasn't something that I enjoyed. So I knew I wanted to be in a role where I was communicating. I knew I wanted to be in a role where I'll be compensated based on kind of my efforts. And to me, software sales seems like a really good move because I could kind of capitalize and leverage on my experiences in technology, and at the same time be compensated for my efforts. But yeah, I did. It's been a year since I've graduated, so I have done some things in between. Freelancing. I did some kind of did some marketing internships. So kind of some of these stuff did help me. But I think kind of the next step was to kind of ramp things up basically, and do something where I can be rewarded, well for what I do.
Yeah. So why Prehired then? You found us and you looked at the website. I mean, what were you thinking?
Okay, so I wanted something to be. I didn't want something that was going to take too long. We're all busy. We have things to do. But at the same time, if something is going to take, someone, let's say 3 months, they might, be kind of pushed away from that because it's going to take them too long. Uh, Also, the fact that there's a lot of boot camps out there that charge you, $10,000, $15,000, and forgetting the fact that kind of you need a job, so you're kind of financially, I don't maybe not broke, but not kind of in the best shape. So the fact that it's priced at a much more kind of affordable pricing point, it was a something great. I actually didn't know the company, found it on Craigslist.
Yeah, we're everywhere, man. And I love the fact that you mentioned that we're affordable because we're still not even a year old, but now we're almost the largest sales boot camp on the planet now, in about the next month. And so our price point is only $24.97 for those that are hearing this video now, but we will be at the $5,000 mark in about 6 to 9 months. So we're gradually increasing by $500 every few months until we hit the $5,000 mark because we've done research. We know how much the product's worth. It's just a matter of we're less than a year old, so we're gradually scaling to getting that place. So anyone who's watching this, I'm going to go ahead and give a blurb. Do it now if you're still on the fence because the price is going up and it will still keep going up. So Omar got in early, and for anyone else that can see this video soon, you can get in at that price. But once it goes up, because we started at $14.97. I know it kills Omar to hear that, but the fact is that was like 9 months ago, and we don't do that anymore. It's just going to keep going higher. So, all right, awesome that you saw us. You saw that you could go at your own pace. It takes about 40 hours to finish. So if you want to knock it out in a week, you can. But then you get the one-on-one coaching with us if you need it. Now, you actually didn't really book any time with this because you just did the program and started using it to get interviews. But before we go into that, what were some of the best parts about the program that you liked, going through it?
Yeah, the best part, I think that you really you had the perfect balance between kind of theory, for someone who's coming new to sales, kind of explaining the concepts, what it is, what the role is, how everything works, all the tools they need. But at the same time, the most important thing was kind of to show us kind of hands-on how everything works and then how to apply all those skills to land a job. Because I think kind of one of the biggest kind of fears that people have is, hey, I might pay this money, I might finish this, but then I need to get a job by at the end of it, because that's kind of the goal. So the fact that not only do you kind of teach sales development, but you teach us kind of how to apply all those skill sets and techniques and strategies in the job application process. So it's kind of a win-win because you're learning the skills for the role, and you're also doing stuff that no one else is doing, and that's kind of putting you kind of miles ahead. Because previously, I can the skills I learn, I can use them. I can see myself using them in different fields and avenues. I know myself previously I was applying and like no responses, but if I was ever to apply to another role, even outside of sales, I know that I'd be utilizing these techniques. So it's good.
Yeah, something I've been hearing like a lot lately is aside from landing the job shortly after the program is the confidence in knowing so the clarity and the confidence you have in running a sales development process and essentially building a sales funnel from the ground up. You know how to build a sales system and you know how to use that to create a job system so that if you don't like the job you're at a year from now, you just do this again to get as
Exactly.
many interviews and offers as you want. In the future, because it's a formula. It's science-based sales. You put in 5-6 hours a week. We know after about a month, you're going to have 10, 15 interviews. You're going to get 2 to 3 job offers, and these are companies you want to work at. Now, but I want to hear specifically, what were your results? Because everyone's a little bit different in the range that I give. What were yours from the program when you started?
Okay. I'm gonna walk you kind of through what I did in the beginning. So I started kind of on a Sunday, and I said to myself, I'm gonna give myself exactly 1 week to finish everything. I didn't want to start. I was in the middle. I was kind of hungry and eager to start. I was like, let me just finish it through. I also made sure I took some notes. So sometimes you forget things. So I did take some notes during kind of the interviews. That was not the interview, sorry, the training. So that was kind of some important topics that you touched upon. I noted them down, and then after a week, I was like, I think the biggest thing that people don't do is apply what they've learned.
Mm.
So that's not just in this, but in many things. So people, they're given the education, but then you have to put what you learn to practice. So, and I myself, being guilty from that kind of mistake in the past in different fields and different things that I've done. So I said, I'm just going to do this. So I began in the beginning kind of making kind of lists of companies using, as you said, the two sources, Angel List, and I don't know if I'm supposed to mention that.
Oh,
Uh,
you can't. People just won't know what you're talking about. But yeah, going
yeah.
to sites like AngelList or Crunchbase or LinkedIn and all those places. So to summarize, though, you did some time researching, and then after you did your research and you actually started reaching out to companies, how long did it take you to get results, and what were those results? Just go ahead and kind of fill us in on that.
So in my first week, I roughly contacted, let's say about 15 companies, 15 to 20 companies.
Okay.
In my first week, I also got 9 interviews. Uh,
So you contacted around 15, 20, let's just say 17 companies. Out of that, you got 9 interviews. So than
yeah,
more
there
than
was about 7
50%.
interviews, but 2 of them were already like I'd already had second round interviews in that same week as well.
Wow. Wow.
So
So nine, so one week's worth, 9 interviews roughly, and then you ended up with some job offers. Tell us this. So did you get one? Did you get multiple, or did you just go ahead and take the one you wanted right away?
so there were I was kind of doing a bit of a mix and mash. I was applying to some of them that I wanted, but I was also applying to some that it was kind of medium. So I wasn't like 100% passionate, but just because I didn't
Yep.
want to kind of close the doors. So I understood that a lot of them, the interview process was kind of, it's not going to happen in a week. There's usually like 3, there might be 3, usually between 2 to 4 kind of interview
Yep.
stages, with the average being roughly about 3. So that's kind of what made it take a little bit long. But in my first week was when I applied to the most amount of companies. Second week, I literally just applied to. I didn't apply to maybe another 10 more, something like that. And in total, I only applied literally to about 30 to 40 companies, roughly speaking.
And that doesn't take that long following our system either. So, I mean, literally, and it's just like a system you can scale up or down. Like you
Yeah,
said, first week you had so many interviews. You're like, well, I don't see the purpose in applying to many more if I've already got that many.
basically. Yeah.
So there's a certain point where you're like, I've got plenty of interviews. Like I had someone tell me he didn't realize like several months ago that one of the guys in our program, he booked 20 interviews and didn't realize he had that many in his pipeline. So he's like, wait a minute, why am I still doing it? I'm gonna stop trying to apply
Exactly.
to good companies because I've already got too many that I'm gonna already have too many options that I need to keep it simple. So he actually told me that happened to him. So wow, okay, you had great results. And then you ended up choosing what's the type of company that you're working at now, or like you chose to onboard with?
Okay. So actually, I'm going to tell you a little bit kind of backstory of how it happened.
All right, yeah, let's
Okay.
hear it.
Because first of all, my stats they looked really great. So I had some kind of background in marketing and copywriting, so I kind of utilized those skills. But in general, I had roughly an 80% open rate for my emails, and I had roughly about 50% 50% total, not out of the 80. About 50% of the total people replied to me. About a third of the people I contacted actually replied to me back with an interview.
So as a recap, 80% opens, 50% responses, 30% meetings booked. Like that's insane in marketing and sales. No one gets those kind of numbers ever in sales. Like your response rates on average in a sales role, which they probably told you with the company you're interviewing with, is probably around 5% if it's like calls or emails. Like it's just, that's what it is. But the fact is that you're getting 30%, you're not getting 30% responses. You're getting 50% responses, 30% bookings is just insanely high. So that's, and what's funny is a lot of our members are getting those numbers. I would say that your numbers are a little bit above average though for our members. Because I get told normally 15 to 25% booking rate is what our members got. And then your response rates around 50. Yeah, they're normally around 30 to 60 actually, just depending. But your booking rates are really high. So so your call to actions are probably good where the marketing copywriting does come in handy as well. So, but anyways, you can continue. So what did you end up doing though? Like, so what was the company that you?
So basically, in the end, I kind of, as you said, I saw kind of that there was a couple of opportunities that I had, so I kind of stopped applying. I want to say I was kind of pursuing with the opportunities that I already had, and there was about, roughly speaking, 5 companies that were kind of highly likely for me to continue with and I was like interviewing second or third level, third kind of stage interviews, and that's why it took me kind of another two weeks to land those, because it takes some time. Some of the people that were opening my emails, they either opened them in general, they either replied to me on my first email or on my third email. So I could see that some of them are opening them like 3, 4, 5 times. I was like, there's definitely some interest, and some of them were requiring 1 to 2 years of experience, which I didn't even have. I was hesitant. Should I do this? Should I not? And there was one company that I applied for. She replied after, I could see that she'd opened all my emails. And after the third email, she told me that she'd moved from that company, that they'd already filled that role, but they were hiring for an SDR in in her previous company.
Wow. So she was that impressed to tell you that she didn't even work there anymore.
Yeah, she forwarded me over. I had and that was the company that I ended up working with, which was funny.
Wow. That is funny. So that tells you that she was very impressed to actually respond when she's not even working there, saying, "Hey, they're not hiring anymore, but you mind like interviewing with us?" So, all right. Bottom line is, you ended up getting a great job, business development manager or business development rep. And what's the company's name?
Vorsight.
And I'm familiar with Vorsight. That's actually you're going to be. It's a great place to learn even more skills. Fun culture. I'm familiar with them. So last question I've got for you, Omar, is people that have been watching us for a while, maybe reading our emails on the website, watching videos like this, but they're still on the fence. They haven't really made a decision to do anything, and they're just not sure. But they know they want to do something in their career. They want to make a change. They want to make more money. They want to work in sales. What would you say for them that know about this? They've seen stuff, but they're still on the fence.
I would say if you're confident, if you know that this is something that you want to do, and so first of all, know that sales is something that you want to get into, and it is a highly rewarding career. So it's not for everyone, but know that it's for you. And I think that you really are targeting the people that want to work in sales. It is a highly rewarding career. Know that you don't need a background in sales. I didn't have a background in sales. I have worked zero in sales, but I like to communicate, but I don't have any experience in sales. You have to put action. So you're going to give us kind of the recipe, but if you don't go ahead and make the meal, you're not going to be able to enjoy kind of the fruit of what you've learned. And really, even in all of my interviews, whenever I've told them that the things that I've learned at sales, at Prehired, and I've been applying the same skills, that I learned kind of for the interviews. Everyone was impressed, and everyone, saying this is the first time I've seen someone do something like this. And I think it really reinforces the point that you said, that really no one is doing this. And if you want to, you kind of differentiate yourself from the crowd, you cannot really do it. You don't want to go the traditional route. In addition to learning sales development, you're also teaching us how to land the job, which is kind of where the biggest value is, in my opinion.
All right. Well, thanks for sharing your story, Omar. And man, looking forward to kind of getting updates from you in the future and having you even a part of some of our panel discussions with our senior alumni and graduates of the program, sharing like what they're doing on the job now so that we can share with our existing members and just kind of get us all better as we move forward and kind of more advanced trains in the future. So thanks, man.
Definitely. No problem. I appreciate it.